Hi, this is BESIG Online. I'm Andy White, and we've got Marjorie Rosenberg with us today. Marjorie, you are, well, you're a lot of things, but one of the things that you're on the committee.
Yes.
What's your role on the committee, and yeah, all of that.
All that information.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment I'm joint coordinator of IATEFL BESIG. I was on events for a year. I was elected to that in Bonn and worked on the Poznan conference dealing with speakers. That was my main role.
All right.
And last year in Poznan, Paul East and I were elected as the joint coordinators of BESIG.
All right. And what does that mean, joint coordinator? How is that different from being on the events committee or?
Well, I don't have to read all of the speaker proposals, for example, or
right.
deal with the exhibition space or stuffing bags. Basically, the coordinators are there to coordinate.
All right.
So what I've been doing, it always amazes me that I am so detail-oriented because I always thought I wasn't. But, making sure, has everyone actually told us when they're arriving so that we have a hotel room for them of the committee? Have the scholarship winners been informed? Do we have the plan for the Friday night opening and the Saturday morning opening and the AGM? Has the AGM plan been printed?
AGM, can you explain what the AGM is?
The AGM is our annual general meeting. And actually, I should explain a little bit about what BESIG is.
Yeah, what is BESIG?
Well, we belong to IATEFL, which is the International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language, which has, I honestly don't know how many members. 2,000 were at the annual conference last year.
Right.
And in IATEFL, there are what are called special interest groups. There are 14 of us, and we are the Business English Special Interest Group.
And the largest, if I'm not
and
mistaken.
the largest. We have close to 600 members right now.
Yes. And
as far as I know, we are the only one with an annual conference which goes on every year. This is our 23rd. The first one was actually here in this building in Bielefeld. And I've been a regular attendee at BESIG since Munich in 2000.
All right, 10 years.
10 years. Well, I was at one in Graz
right.
in, I think, 95. And then, as of Munich, I've been coming regularly.
All right. And you contribute a lot, aside from being a committee member. You also do workshops and all of the above,
yes.
Don't you?
Well, I do lots of teacher training. Workshops for the different ELTAs in Germany, the English Language Teaching Associations. I do some in Austria. I work for the state school organization that does teacher training workshops because I've been very interested in the whole learning style effect on learning and what teachers can use, how they can use this to help their students. I do teacher training also dealing with cooperative learning and multiple intelligences and how to teach vocabulary and communicative activities.
Okay.
Lots of that.
And do you teach actually students as well, or is it all teacher training? Oh, yes. Okay. Tell me about your classroom.
At the moment, I have 14 lessons at the University of Graz.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right.
It's actually, what do we call them, elective subjects. So my students decide they want to do a B1 course or but I'm also offering Cambridge Advanced Certificate course. I'm doing the basics for natural sciences this semester, which is really fun.
All right, is that like CLIL then?
Well, it's CLIL, but CLIL is not used at the university level.
All right.
So it's more like ESP, English for Special Purposes.
Right.
So I've actually got to go back to the hotel and look at the chemistry information. But I do lots of, go find somebody who can explain what a molecule is to you.
Yeah.
And then tell me if my explanation is correct.
Isn't that the wonderful thing about teaching, though?
Yes.
Especially, with business English, we're learning new things all the time.
Exactly.
God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Science even more than
right.
Business English. I feel a little more secure in.
All right.
I did work in business, at least in New York, so some idea. And I also teach IT students. And I teach at a University of Applied Sciences, where I train them for the BEC exam, the Business English Cambridge certificate.
You've got a lot on your plate.
And I teach bankers.
All right.
Lots.
All right.
Yes.
Where do you find the time for all of this?
Well, there are 7 days in the week.
Yeah, you're a super trooper, though. I know you've got a lot of power. And I've spoken to a few people who've said, you know, oh, that Marjorie, you know, putting in a lot of energy there, she gets things done. Is that any sort of mentality from you, sort of conscious effort, or you're just on the ball?
Scary. Sounds like my mother.
No!
My mother was a lieutenant in the Navy, so maybe this is where it's coming from.
All right, confessions.
Confessions.
Yeah.
No, I realize that I do like to get things organized and going. I mean, just this event tonight, we said 45 minutes for the opening, and we did it in 44.
Yeah.
We had it planned, and of course we had wonderful Carl doing the slides.
Yeah.
But little things like the fact that I wanted to make sure our scholarship winners were announced tonight, and their photos, so that people at this reception could go and talk to them.
Yeah.
This was really important to me, and I think this worked well. From what I've gathered from them, they felt very welcomed, and people could go up and say, "Oh, I say you're one of the scholarship people."
Yeah.
So getting things like this organized is really important.
Yeah.
Paul and I have also been trying to set up little mini BESIG groups in other countries where there are very few members.
Right.
And this is for us just something, it's part of the whole message.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important, reaching people in other places.
Yes.
Yeah, teachers all over the place who feel isolated. I mean, I know when I started teaching business English, it was in Hamburg. It's a major city, and I still felt isolated. So I think you're doing a fabulous job with that. Setting up BESIGs in other places, and also with the increase in online activity.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I have to admit, I was dragged kicking and screaming into the digital age.
Were you?
Oh my God, I remember our first computer, a 287, powered by snails. You know, it was just, and you know, never used any technology.
Right.
And here I am now writing for English 360, which is an online platform and the professional English online site.
It takes it with you, doesn't it? I mean,
just
you
kind of
flow.
And I use Moodle. And I taught my colleagues how to use Moodle. It was just, you know, I got the 5-minute course from my boss, I have to admit. Don't tell me anything more than I need to know.
Yeah.
And then I showed other people. It can be simple.
I think that's the fabulous thing. A lot of things about technology, it feels scary, but most of it you can it's learning by doing. Get your hands dirty a little bit, and it just flows.
Well, I just went to my boss and said, "Show me how I upload." And she went, "Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3." I wrote it down, a little piece of paper, which is my Bible. And in the meantime, I have shown colleagues, and they go, "Look, this isn't that hard." I said, "Right, because I don't need to know everything about it.
Yeah.
Just show me what I need to know."
Yeah.
And my students like it. I find it incredibly helpful, being able to put up what I've done, contact them. All of these things I think are important.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And the spreading of the word. I mean, people in India who can then log on to Harrogate online.
I know, it's fabulous, isn't it?
It's absolutely great. Our webinars, you know, just being able to reach people in other places is really important to me.
I agree.
It's all part of the mission of what we're doing at BESIG.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the thing that keeps us going. You know, you come home from 12 hours of teaching to 100 emails, 99 from BESIG committee members. Oh boy. But I think we are doing so much good work. Just seeing the people tonight, you know.
Yeah.
And people saying, "Oh, this is so great," and it's so good to see people and to meet someone face to face, and the networking that goes on at BESIG, and this feeling of you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
This helping each other. I mean, that's how I started publishing.
Yeah.
I created activities and thought other teachers might be able to use these.
Yeah.
And then came up with the first photocopyable stuff that I did.
I think it's fabulous. I think that's really the point with the BESIG conference, with IATEFL, and the conference for that. Expanding our boundaries and reaching people wherever they are, and creating opportunities for further development.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can feel isolated no matter where you are. So I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
You gave a few speeches, or you had quite a bit to say just now. And then we had a great dinner. I just want to include people also to let them know what goes on at BESIG conference. It's not just presentations and workshops, but lots of networking, lots of talks, dinner, drinks.
Drinks, yes, very definitely the end of the evening drinks.
Yeah.
But what I have always said about BESIG, I go to a lot of conferences,
Yeah.
and BESIG has always been the friendliest conference I've ever been at.
Yeah.
And I can still remember a conference, I didn't know anybody. There was a group going out to dinner, and I just, could I maybe join you? They said, of course you can join us. And this is not at every conference, but this is BESIG.
Yeah.
BESIG is the conference that just welcomes people in. It just
Yeah.
says, come with us, join us, no problem, stay in touch. And on the Ning, which I also now use quite a bit, there was, you put up the thing about first-timers.
Yeah.
And my first comment was, bring plenty of business cards, because that's what BESIG is about.
Yeah.
Handing out business cards and staying in touch with people.
Yeah, networking. It's
Networking
fabulous.
is really, really important for all of us in this field.
I think we're getting better and better at it in general with our
I
online
agree.
presence and everybody, I don't know, just chipping in their 2 cents. It's great how many people I've asked, delegates and committee members and presenters as well, to come and have a chat and share a little bit, and we're doing it. It's fabulous. All right, Marjorie, we're going to stop here. We've gone on for quite some time. We have a little bit to do with that. We've had a good time. But I have to say thank you. Thank you for your energy and enthusiasm, and for the feedback I've heard about you getting the job done. And it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I get that opportunity. I know you're really busy.
This was fine. This is the end of the evening, and I get to wind down.
Good.
And having a
So I'm
glass
going
of
to
wine
say
with you.
cheers.
Cheers as well.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see you all tomorrow.